Hello, hello. I'm back. Second time is a charm, I hope. Pamela here with Passionate About Scrapbooking, your Stampin' Up demonstrator in the Texas Hill Country in Fredericksburg, Texas. Welcome to Make It Monday Live with Pamela, where I'll be creating a two-page 12 by 12 scrapbook layout this week featuring the Weekend Adventures Scrapbooking Workshop Kit and coordinating stamp set. If you're hopping on, let me know that you can see me, you can hear me. Give me a thumbs up, say hello, where you're viewing from, whatever you'd like. Good morning, Debbie. It's a Monday. I'm getting really tired and frustrated with the technology lately. Good morning, Charisse. We had that storm come through last night and it knocked out our internet for the evening, and Jeff did get it back up, or it came back up before bedtime, but it's fiddled around with a few things. I was having problems printing photos, and he was helping me with that last night, and so far it seems to be working this morning, but the first time I went live, it said it had issues connecting to Facebook, but it looks like we're good now. I don't know if I was really on Facebook or not. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for letting me know that. All right, I'm kind of excited about today. I'm changing things up a little bit with how we're creating. I wanted to do this weekend adventures this week, and I had the scrapbooking workshop kit, and 2 weeks ago, I think, I'd already decided I was going to do this, and I thought I was going to do it last week. And then when I pulled out my products, I realized I only had the scrapbooking workshop kit. I didn't have the standalone designer series paper. So I ordered that along with the coordinating cardstock. I'll share that real quick. And then I got to thinking, well, you know what? Maybe I will just go ahead and use the scrapbooking workshop kit and see what I can do with it this week, especially like with the scraps. So we'll be doing that. I'll go over this here in just a minute. Let's get all the kind of the housekeeping things out of the way and just remind you that we have a beautiful new catalog. This is actually featured in the new catalog, so I'll show you that here in a second. But we do have a special buy one, get one 50% off all sweets and sweet products. So I've explained some of that over the course of the last week or two, but you can visit my website and get all the details about that. I did print off the sweet collection from all the sweet collections that we have available. This is a week or two old, so some of this might not be available still. And when it says currently unavailable, it just means there might be an item out of the suite that's not available. The entire suite is not necessarily, like all the other products, aren't necessarily unavailable. But some of these I think may be on last chance, low inventory, but we have quite a large selection of sweets and sweet products available. Oh, I just see like that boho vibes. You can buy the entire suite, like one suite, and get one for 50% off, the lesser of the two. Or you can buy products out of any of the suites and get free or 50% off products as well. You just have to add two items to your cart, and I think they've got it set up now so every two items from a suite that you add, the lesser two items or the lesser items will be at the 50% off. You'll just have to play around with that a little bit and see what you can come up with. But great offer on that right now. Then also we have our virtual album retreat coming up July 16th through the 18th. There is a fabulous scrapbooking workshop kit that is available for purchase. And when you purchase it, it registers you for the event. And toward the beginning of July, you will get an email from Stampin' Up inviting you to a private Facebook group where the live events will be held during these dates and times. And we will create over a 3-day period 12 two-page 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts highlighting each month of the year. So when we're done, you'll have a completed yearly album. So you can do like a highlight album for the year, whatever year you want. It could be 2024 or it could be 2025, or you could save it for 2026. It could be all the way back to like 2000, whatever you want to do. Just you could focus on a particular year. So this is going to be amazing, I promise you, because Karen Pedersen, who I worked with at Close to My Heart, has helped put this all together. And it's an event that we did quite frequently, about 3 times a year, with Close to My Heart. And this is the first one with Stamping Up. So I'm super excited about that. I don't have the new flyer printed, but we do have, I'll share that maybe later in the week for July, August, and September, and you'll get sneak peeks of the paper pumpkin kits. Right now, I'm waiting for my Full of Charm June kit to arrive in the mail, and I'll be creating a paper pumpkin creatives project for our tutorial bundle here in the next week or two, I suppose. As soon as I get that kit, that's going on my to-do list. And then also the June Global Ink Collectives Floral Impression Suite Collection Tutorial Bundle is available for purchase for $15, or you can earn it for free with a $50 order anytime during the month of June. And these are well, I thought it was on the back. I had another piece of paper there. These are the past and present artisans that have designed projects for the Global Ink Collective. This is our design team. So you might see some familiar faces along with mine, and some are past artisans, as I mentioned. So there are 12 projects in here using that floral impressions, and they are amazing. To earn that for free, you just place a $50 order before tax and shipping through my website. And then you'll also, the week that you do that through the month of June, you'll get that particular scrap and create kit for free as well, that I will mail you at no charge. And the one for this week, the Weekend Adventures, I'm still kind of putting the scrap and create kit together. I know I'm going to have some linen thread along with some matte dots in the kit, and then some designer series paper along with a little extra cardstock. But to create my projects this week, you will need the Weekend Adventures Scrapbooking Workshop Kit, which I'll walk you through here in just a minute. I have no idea where it's at in here. This is an exclusive product that they have put in. It's not like in a suite collection. So this is only available as a scrapbooking workshop kit. So these are some of the pages, or these are the pages that you will be creating, or you can create. We'll be doing this one right here today. And then I think let me go through this a little bit and see. I never can remember exactly where. I think it's right behind. Let me see. Here it is, featured on page 72 and 73. So let me go back to here and I'll tell you those page numbers too. So up at the front are the scrapbooking workshop kit. So it's a price of $37 and you get all these pieces in your workshop kit along with step-by-step instructions where I'll show those to you in a minute. And then back here on, so that was page 18 and 19. On pages 72 and 73, there is an exclusive stamp set that coordinates with the Weekend Adventures. You can also get a combo pack of two-tone cardstock that coordinates. And then here are the designer series paper. You actually get 4 sheets of each of these. So there's not in this particular designer series paper pack, but you get a lot of it. So it's great for doing travel albums. If you're doing a lot of pages for like a complete album. You can also purchase, you can buy this paper individually, and if you want the sticker sheet, you get the sticker sheet plus the paper. So that's $17 for all of that. And actually, I was looking. Maybe you can't buy the paper individually. I thought you could. I'm pretty sure you can on the website. So go back to this, and you actually get some of that paper in the workshop. So if you have any questions about that, let me know. So if you want your Scrap and Create kit for free this week, then I would recommend buying the Scrapbooking Workshop kit plus the stamp set, and that's about $57, I believe, is what I looked up. And you'll have everything you need to create 3 two-page 12 by 12 scrapbook layouts, plus our scrapbook page that we'll do on Wednesday, and then our 2 fun fold cards on Friday. So if you have questions, let me know. If you're joining me, say hello. Let me know you're here. Would love to know who's watching and where you're viewing from. I know Charisse is in Idaho. Correct me if I'm wrong, Charisse. And then Debbie is just a few miles from me, actually, here in Fredericksburg, Texas. All right, so we're going to be playing with the Party Alphabet dies. These are brand new in the new annual catalog as well. They coordinate and work with the banner dies that we played with a couple of weeks ago. So this was with the turtley cute Scrap and Create kit. And you can get these as a bundle or you can buy them separately. So if you do a lot of parties, this might be a really great bundle to get. But I'm going to play around with the alphabets this week and share some ideas or make up my own that Sarah and Melody shared on our CEO's Facebook page. If you caught that, let me know. There was a PDF that was available. Uh-oh. Charisse, am I cutting out? Let me know. I know Debbie's had a problem before. So if anyone else is hearing me cut out, would you let me know before I move forward? And I'll just take my earbuds out. So, yay or nay? Is the sound good for everybody else? I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I don't want to go too much further. Can you check on Facebook, Debbie? Because I know you've had that problem before. Now I've got cats jumping on my table. Anybody else having problems with sound? All right, thank you, Charisse. So it might be your connection, Debbie. Not sure. I know we've had internet problems here, but thanks for giving me a heads up. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and continue, and hopefully the recording is good. Okay, so we'll play with those a little bit. Again, let me know if you got the PDF that Sarah and Melody shared of all the cool ways. There were like 24 different ways that Melody used these alphabet dies, and they were like techniques that she did with the actual alphabets, which was pretty cool. All right, so here is the Weekend Adventures stamp set. There's no dies to it, so there might be a little bit of fussy cutting, or we'll just stamp directly on the paper on the scrapbook page. We'll see. We're going to play around with it. I did get them put in there. Good deal, Debbie. Debbie says she's going to Facebook. So hopefully that'll help some. All right, and then I have my photos here all prepped and ready. I was I almost decided to be like really adventurous today and do all 3 pages. We're going to cut for all 3 pages today. I don't think it'll take very long, and I wanted to show you that, but I think we're only going to make this 1 page here. So those are my photos from a trip that Jeff and I took in June of 2016 to the Sundance Resort in Utah, not very far from Salt Lake City. This was a trip that I earned through my health and wellness company at the time. And this was at Stewart Falls. It was a, what do they call it in here? I called it the lift, kind of like the gondola that they take. This photo was on that going up the mountain. So from the resort up the mountain. And then we ended up here getting off, and it's like a ski slope, of course. And Jeff and I think I scrapbooked about this not too recently, just this particular photo, because Jeff and I hadn't even been dating a full year. And I will share it, Charisse, as soon as I find it on my computer. So you might look at my profile. I might have shared it. I was looking for it this morning and then ran out of time. So, anyways, when I shared the photo, people were wondering if we had gotten engaged just because it said wedding ring. We thought it was kind of funny, but we had not as of that time. And then there we are at the falls. It was about a 3-mile hike all the way around. And this was when I was in much better shape. And so it was, yeah, we had a fabulous time. We did it was like an intermediate trail, I think. So we're going to scrapbook about that. I've got my journaling strips. I haven't quite got them all cut apart, but I'll share a little bit more about that in a minute. But let's move over here to our scrapbooking workshop kit. If you're not familiar with them, I'm going to pull all this. Look at all that. There's all kinds of goodies in here. Now, the twine and the embellishments don't come with the kit. So this is what you'll get: some linen thread, not the full package, but I will include some linen thread in your sample packet with the matte dots as well. So we'll put those aside. So I chose that linen thread because it's rustic, and it's actually featured, I guess, as the technique that is added to the pages in here. So the materials needed are the scrapbooking workshop kit plus the linen thread, which you'll get some to use, so you don't have to purchase that necessarily. And then you just really, if you wanted to complete them as is, all you would need is some adhesive, like the stamping seal, stamping dimensionals, and a paper trimmer. It'll give you here all the photos that you need, and whether they're portrait, landscape, and what size they are, and for what project they are. So again, yeah, up here it tells you optional featured technique, embellishing with linen thread. So there's our cutting diagram that will follow. So it shouldn't take that long. And it'll be awesome to show you how to do a couple of these cuts as well. And then you've got photos and instructions of how to do all the pages, but we're just going to focus on this primary focal point page first. All right, let me share with you what's in the kit real quick. Yay, Debbie. So who knows? Maybe the streaming on YouTube's not doing well. You'll get 2 sheets of this designer series paper. So this is really 2 sheets of each from the actual designer series paper pack. I'm going to flip that around so the trees are the right way. And I think all these, I don't think they're any different than what you get in the designer series paper. So you've got this gorgeous plaid. This is actually Cajun craze and black. And you got black and then some old olive, I believe, with maybe some early espresso. There's trees. And then these are acorns, just little bitty acorns. And then we have like the waters, the splashing. Um, would work really great for my waterfall photos, but I don't know that we're going to use much of that. And then this is a really cool pattern for hiking, and we didn't even use that on this page. So, but I've got more photos from my trip that I could do with all of this. Okay, so those are the designer series papers that you'll get. We'll cut those here in just a minute. And then you've got some standalone printed paper. So nothing on the back, but this will be our base. It would be our base for like project number 3. Let me pull this in so you can see it a little bit better. So we won't be using these today because I don't think we'll have to cut any of that. And then this is the background for our page today. Again, there's not any pattern on the back of it. So a really cool wood grain. So we won't cut that at all, but if you wanted to do something totally different with this kit, you could. So you could cut some things apart and stretch it to do like lots of 2-page layouts. And then you get several sheets, 1, 2, I think, of punch outs. So these will punch out here. Like I was looking to see what this great outdoors. You'll see on the back side that it actually tells you what project each piece goes to. I love that they do that. And then same thing with this one. It'll tell you what piece goes to what project. So we'll just punch out our project 1 today, probably here in just a minute. And then you have some cardstock. So let's see what's in here for cardstock. We've got, I don't know if you can tell, that is two-tone cardstock. This is our very vanilla, I believe. You've got 3 sheets of that. And then we've got some basic beige, I think, is what this one is. You can see the 2 tones. Then you have 1 sheet of Misty Moonlight. Can't really show you maybe if I do it this way, you can tell. So all 2-tone cardstock for the scrapbooking workshops. Then Old Olive. You can tell the difference right there, I think. And that sticker sheet that I mentioned earlier. You'll get the sticker sheet in here as well. So there's really no stamping in the scrapbooking workshop kits, but we'll incorporate that somehow, maybe on today's page, but I will definitely use it on Wednesday and Friday. All right, and then this is just your packaging that tells you what colors are in the collection and so forth. So we'll set this aside for now, the sticker sheet along with the punch outs. And we're going to put our paper in order of how we're going to cut it and what we need. This is how I usually do my scrapbooking workshop kits. So I'm going to fold that so we can see it better. So I'm going to start with, you'll see the front and the back. The back has a little asterisk on it. And then when you cut something, like none of these are using that black, it doesn't look like. There's not an asterisk on any of those numbers, but they do want you to put your paper in a certain orientation Like, see, the stripes are going back and forth like that. I'm going to do this one, the front, and this one, the back. So actually, we are using that. So they just didn't do the asterisk for it. All right, and then we'll need this piece, which they show going this way, I think, on here. So you'll need to check your cut orientation. And then same thing with this one. So the trees are going sideways when you cut it. And then we'll come down here. There's no pattern orientation. Well, there is actually, because you see the feet or the footprints. You'll want those going that way, but we're going to flip it back that way and cut the blue. And then on this one, our orientation is going to go this way with that on the front. And then our next piece that we'll be cutting, and this really doesn't take that long to cut, just so you're aware, and I'll walk you through how to use one of these workshop kit guides. And then the very vanilla, we're going to do the dark side. Some of these I might not cut because I need to look at the page. They may be for like the mats, and I actually did white mats on mine, so we'll see. We will see. And there's actually, so two of those. And then our next one, that looks like a different color, but it says very vanilla on all of those. I need to double check and see if it's maybe the basic beige. Let me see which one's darker. I think that's the dark side. And then we have the Misty Moonlight and the Old Olive. Okay, so I think that's the paper we need to cut. All of these stay 12 by 12. Let me look at my samples and see if, as far as the mm, the basic beige, use dark basic beige two-tone for your base. Use dark basic, that has two. I feel like I might be missing a basic beige because that is supposed to be used for a base. Let's see. There it is. I don't know how I missed that extra. Oh, yeah. So there's those two. And then I'm going to put this. Okay. So that was my fault. I thought there was only one basic beige. All right. So these do not get cut. So I'm going to set those aside over here with my sticker sheet and my punch outs. Now, when you're cutting for these scrapbooking workshop kits, you will want to have an area you can place your piles. So you'll have pile for project number 1, a pile for project number 2, and a pile for project number 3. And I don't really have a lot of room, so I'm gonna have to just lay it around everywhere around me. All right, so let's see. Good morning. Did Sharice, you found it? I posted the link in the comments for the techniques. Awesome. Good job. Thank you so much. And I might, since you did that, yeah, I got distracted and I'm gonna make sure my volume is not up. So I just jumped on Facebook and the Chosen pictures came up, and we watched the Chosen episode 1 last night about the Last Supper. It was so good. I just love The Chosen. All right, so let me go. I'm gonna see if I can print it out real quick too. I can't click that link, I don't think, in my comments. I'll have to go to and I don't know, it's not, Facebook is being difficult with me too. Like technology is really frustrating me this last week or two. All right, so we need our paper trimmer. Yeah, Facebook just won't open for me for some reason. Facebook. Don't know. All I'm getting is a gray screen with a Facebook logo on it. It just won't come up for me. So I am still live, aren't I? I think. Hopefully, I don't have any problems. All right, so let's start cutting. Now, the page is going to go together really quickly once we get everything cut because there aren't a lot of tips and techniques. So we're going to start right here with this piece and we're going to cut it at, I'm trying to decide if I want to cut it. I'll just cut it at 6 inches. It shows you right here your first cut with the little scissors. So we'll go 6 and 4.5. And what's cool is that this piece is a scrap. So this is what I can use for my cards and my on my pages, my page on Wednesday. Then it needs to be 11 inches. So you're going to turn it and cut down to 11. All right. That's another scrap. I'll put in a scrap pile. This is for the page we're doing today, number 1. I'm going to cut this one down to 11 inches as well. So then I have 2 pieces that are like this. Okay. And both of these will be for project number 1. And then this is a scrap. Then we'll bring this one in. We want our orientation to be the stripes going this way. And we'll cut 1/2 inch. I'm going to use this side of the trimmer. And we'll cut that down in just a second to 11 inches as well. Another 1/2 inch strip. So we're going to have 2 that are 1/2 inch by 11. And then I want a 1-inch strip. So I'm going to go to the 1 inch over here. Now, this whole entire piece now is a scrap that we can use for other projects. Now, let's take this piece, since it's in my trimmer, and we're going to cut 2 3-inch pieces. And this is for project number 3. So I'm going to make a project number 3 pile. My project 1 is right here. This is a scrap. And then both of these I'm cutting down to 11 inches. This is going to go to project 1. And then this one's also 11 inches. Project 1. And then these little pieces I'm going to save because these would be fun to like dovetail and use as little banners. So I'm even going to save that little piece. All right, so flip it over. We're now to this paper and we're going to cut it at 3 1/4. Okay, and I'll go ahead and measure at 3 1/4. And then I'm going to go ahead and take this one. It's got an asterisk on it, which means I think we're going to use this side and we're going to cut it down to 11 inches. So that's a scrap. And then this piece is for project number 2. So I'm making a number 2 pile. And then we want to rotate it and cut at 3 1/4 again. This time it's this piece and it's still for project number 2. Now you have a scrap that's this much. I feel like I'm missing a piece, but 3 1/4. Let me see. Maybe it's just the way I cut it, I think. Yeah. Okay. So hopefully we're good. I might have cut that piece wrong. I'm not sure. So, but I think I can fix it if I need to. I'm going to go back here real quick. Let me see if I cut it that way. Nope, I think I did good. I think I'm good. Guess I'll see when I make that page later. All right, this one again, we're going to have 11 by 12 inch. So we're going to cut it at 11 inches. This is for project number 2. So a really big background. And then take this one and rotate it and cut 4 3-inch strips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right. And this will be for project number 3. Now we're on to this pattern paper. I'm going to make this my first cut. So I'm going to make sure that my pattern on the back looks like that. I'm going to do a 1-inch strip. And then I'm going to move all the way over and I'm going to do 9 inches. So FYI, usually the first measurement in the 9 by 10 would be, you do 9. If it said 10 by 9, then you would go to 10. So that's how the measurements are usually done. So we're going to cut this piece, and that is a 9. Right now it's a 9 by 12. We'll cut these down in 1 second. Now we're going to take this one and cut it 1 inch. And this is a scrap. So that piece is a scrap. Put it in your scrap pile. And then we'll work our way back this way. We're going to rotate it to cut it down to 10 inches. This piece goes in pile number 2. That's a scrap. And then we'll go with this one. We'll rotate it and do 10 inches this time. This is a scrap. And this is for project number 2 as well. And I'll probably make the pages off camera and share them along with the one we're doing today. And then this one, you're going to rotate it and cut 4 3-inch pieces. And all these are for project number 3. Okay. And so we got that one done. Now this one is a little tricky. Okay. Because you cannot cut using your paper trimmer from corner to corner. Okay. It does not fit. So this is where you have to, we'll pull this back out in 1 second. You need a ruler. And this is what is fabulous about the, I'm going to move, this is my pile number 1. I'm going to set it aside. This is great for the Versamats that I have. If you have some kind of a mat, you can put it on. We need to draw a pencil line from this point to this point. Now, this might get a little tricky. You would be better off with a much larger, I don't think I have my, I was gonna say, I'm not sure where I have my T ruler. I don't know if it's long enough. So I'm gonna do it this way. I'm gonna turn it up and down so I can eyeball. And you might even, I have another ruler, 1 second. Let me see if I can find it. It's hiding back here. There we go. I'm just going to extend this. So I need to draw a line from there to Make sure my paper is on here straight-ish. And I think that's pretty good. I'm going to draw a line from here to this corner. All right, so I can see it was off just a teeny bit, like right there. So I'm going to follow this line up. And then you just need, instead of using my little scissors, I'm going to use a pair of bigger scissors. And we're just going to cut like this. Right along that pencil line, trying to stay as straight as possible. I like the bigger scissors because I feel like I get a straighter cut because there's a longer blade. Okay, and now we have it cut down diagonally. All right, and we need, let's go back to our diagram. And let me put everything back kind of into place. Let's see here. So I want this piece right here. This piece is going to be a scrap, so we can use on another page or project. And then this one is for number 3. So all that work, and then I won't even get to show y'all today that particular project, other than you'll see it in the photos. All right, now we just have a few more. Again, I'm going to look at all of these right here. Most of these are photo mats. So that's project number 1 right here, project number 2 and 3. We'll go ahead and cut them, I think. Let me look at the pages real quick. Yeah, even though I have a white border on my photos, I'm going to do these as well, I think, because it'll make them a little bit bigger. All right. So pull out that arm again. And straighten up there we go. Now we want to do 4 1/4. That's our first cut right up here. So just a 1/4 inch. And then this one I'm going to cut at 6 1/4. And this is a scrap. So you'll be amazed with these scrapbooking workshop kits. This one, I'm going to go backwards, that you'll have lots of leftovers to do more pages or cards with every time you get one of these workshop kits. And I think they're all like around $40, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. All right, this is going to be 4 1/4. So for our 4x6 photos, we're just making a 1/4 inch bigger mat. These are for project 1. That's a scrap. I'm going to bring my project 1 pieces back over here. And then this one was the 4 1/4. We're going to turn it and we're going to do 3 1/4 for our 3x4 photo mats. I always love doing these cutting diagrams. I don't like making them. I have done that a lot in the past, but I do like having the cutting diagram. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do this since I do want to finish my project 2 and 3 as well. So 4 1/4. And it's kind of just reversed there a little bit. Well, no, we'll do 4 1/4 again here. We've got a longer piece. That's a scrap. So these are both the same size right now. So we'll do 3 1/4. This is for project number 2. And then this one needs to be, it should be 8.5 inches. And it's not quite because you'll see a little bit of white right down here. So cut that. We could save that. That might work for a card. This goes to project number 3. And then this we'll do 3 at 3.25 inches. And those are all for project number 2. Okay, only 3 more pages to cut, I think. That's project, what did I say, number 2. That's a scrap. And then one more very vanilla. This one's going to be interesting. So I'm glad I get to show you how to do it. So this first cut is going to be at 5 inches. And then this, turn it and make 5 by 7. This is for project number 3. And this is a scrap. And this one, we're going to measure again. So there was 2 interesting cuts in this one. So down here, I'm going to first measure at 2.25. And then I'm going to put a little tick mark right here. And then we'll measure up here at 5.25. Actually, we're going to go, I think I can measure down here. I'm going to measure at 5.25, but I'm going to put the tick mark right up here. Okay. And now let's see if we can make it work in here. Not sure. That it's going to, let me see if it tells us. It might be a good idea to cut this one like that as well, like we did the other one, because the arm right here will dent in your paper because it's still a little bit longer. So let's take our ruler and we're going to draw a line. And it's again, almost not quite long enough, but I think I can see it pretty well. My ruler is not. If you had like a 15-inch ruler, that would be better. Okay, so there's your line. And I'm just going to cut like this again. And it looks like you're going to get like the same, almost the same piece from both sides. This one's probably a little bit smaller. Just follow that cut line. This is your scrap because it's the white part. This is the one we'll use for project number 3. And now we have Misty Moonlight, 4.25 by 6.25. You have this whole scrap. Put in your scrap pile. We can make something really cute on Wednesday and Friday. So that's a mat for project number 2. There's another scrap. And then our last one is Old Olive. We're going to cut at 6.25. These are mats. So this is a scrap piece. Turn it and cut at 4.25. This is for project number 3. And we're going to cut again at 4.25 for project number 3. And then this one is 3.25. I'm cutting off just a little sliver. I'm going to put it in my scraps, rotate it, and then cut at 4.25. And that's for project number 3 as well. So we really didn't have, and that was a scrap. a lot of paper for this one we're going to do. So we're going to do a lot of stickers and so forth. All right, we'll do one page at a time. We need that. I'm going to bring over my pieces over here, and we need the wood grain, the light wood grain. So I just realized we have two wood grains. All right, so this one right here, and I've got to let it hitting in. And those will be our bases. So we'll put these down. I'll go ahead and put both of them down so you can see them. I'm using my removable glue dots, and I'm going to put one in opposite corners. And this is just going to, let's make sure the orientation of the stripes are up and down, but this will just keep it on my mat so it doesn't move around. And we'll go ahead and do this one over here as well. I'm looking at my pieces to see what other kind of techniques can we do today to kind of level this up some. I'm thinking I want to do some sponging, but I think I will do the sponging maybe on the outside afterwards, but also on the embellishments, like the punch outs, a few of the punch outs, and the stickers, whatever they end up being. All right, so here are our pieces, and we need the larger one over here, and then one of these as well, and the two larger photo mats. I'm going to give you an idea. Do y'all see how fast this can go together? There's this one along with the photo mats. We'll do something kind of like this. Bring in our photos. And so this will be my focal photo. And then I've got, and it kind of goes in the order. So on the gondola, up at the top of the trail. And then I think this one's going to go right in here. Maybe Jeff up here and our resting shoes down here. Something to that effect. Good morning, Debbie. How are you? Thanks for joining me. Just gonna look again real quick. Because I did say I wanted to bring in the party alphabet dies. Let me look at a couple of things here real quick. Okay, I think we're good there. Oh, my Facebook did decide to pop up finally. I don't know what's going on with that. So I was going to go to my Facebook page and see if I can get that link. And it's not clickable on that. Yeah, so if you scroll down on my Facebook page, I think product list, let's do the 24. So if you go to my Facebook page, Facebook page for Passionate About Scrapbooking, I did not get this printed the other day, so I'm going to print it off. There is, scroll down a little bit, there's a 24 techniques for the party alphabet dies that Melody Hyde shared with Sarah Douglas on June 12th. So you can even go to Sarah Douglas's Stampin' Up! CEO Facebook page. And there's also a product list that they shared to go along with it if you wanted to do exactly what Melody did with those alphabet dies. I'm printing that off so we can look at it and see how we can incorporate it. So I'm going to stick with mostly what's on these pages already, but I was thinking I would cut out the U and the T for Utah and maybe put it like right up here. Could also put it down over here. And that'll just be a way that we can incorporate that. So all I would need would be the U and the T. I might could fit Utah, the whole word in there somewhere, but it's already in my, well, I say that. Yeah, it is, because there's a beautiful 200-foot waterfall tucked into the Utah mountains. So Utah is referenced in my journaling. And I'll just have to decide what color I want to make that. All right, so here's that PDF. You can find it on my Facebook profile or Facebook page for Passionate About Scrapbooking. And there's the supply list for exactly what she used for that. I'm gonna staple these together and we're gonna play around with some of these this week. There is, like, this is the one I'm really thinking I like for this project. There's number 6, twine wrapped around part of the, doesn't have to wrap around the whole entire letter, but you could do just a portion of it. So I think we might do that on here. That would be simple and easy using that twine. And then there's just some neat ones that there's, she calls it a faux marquee. She just used the little hole punch to punch around there. She showed a really cool technique. She didn't show how to do all of these on the Facebook Live that they did, but she did show like 3 or 4 of them. So there's some really cool techniques. So we'll see what we can do this week. I have at least today, well, I have 3 projects that I'll end up completing for the day. We're going to do just this one though for today's live. I'm going to pull out my early espresso ink, I think, and my pecan pie ink. Those 2 colors are on here, and I'm thinking about doing maybe sponging the edges and just a few of the stickers and punch outs. So I'm going to save this for a few minutes so I can decide what color I want to use for sure. So we're just going to put down our pieces of paper on here. I need some adhesive. And let me share with you a little bit more about the workshop guide. So you'll see your full page right here. You can copy it just as is or change it up a little bit. Then here is the same thing, but it's showing you where the pieces go, and it's also giving you measurements. So like this is piece A or 1A. So project 1, piece A would be the first piece that you would put onto your base. It tells you use exclusive light wood grain paper for your base project. So we're going to put some adhesive on here. This one you could, here's an idea before I put this down, which I think I'll do on both. So I'm going to just show you some different techniques that you can do to elevate your page if you wanted to just, yeah, elevate it a little bit more. So how about, like, I wouldn't do sponging on this one because the paper is so dark really, but how about roughing the edges up? You could go around these 2 pieces just with your scissors like I'm doing, and I've already got adhesive on the back, so I need to be a little bit careful. But this is a great technique for these kind of pages because it's distressing So any type of distressing technique, whether it be like roughing up the edges of your paper or cardstock, or with the colored two-tone cardstock, you could do some sanding. You could do some dry embossing and then sand over it with some embossing folder that would coordinate well with it. You could, quartz ink distressing is always one of my faves, which I think I'll do around the edge. And then sponging again, like we're probably going to do, like maybe a blending. You've got sponge daubers you could use, or you could do direct to paper with the ink. All right, so I just roughed that up a little bit. And so that's going to add an extra texture. Okay, it shows to go across over 3 inches. Well, wait a minute. Go over here to, let me see which one. That's for that. Okay, this is being a little tricky, so give me 1 second while I figure it out. I think that goes 3.5 inches. So 0 to 3.5, and then you're really just centering it on the page. Right about there, I believe. This piece, you could also distress it if you wanted to with your scissors, but I'm just going to leave it as is because it's kind of a skinny piece. And sometimes it's nice to not distress every single piece. It's going to go right along this edge over here. And then our only other two pieces really that aren't stickers or die cuts are our photo mats. So I'm going to mat. You'll see if I mat this, it's going to be like that. Now you could go around here and do, which I think I'll do. Let me decide what color I want to go with. I think I want to do the pecan pie. So I could sponge it with a sponge dauber, but one of the things that I like to do is just tap my cardstock or designer series paper into the ink pad, and you can see just barely, it darkens up the edge a tiny bit and gives, you just need to be careful because you can already see it's on my fingers there. So I'm going to do that to these two pieces. Now, if you wanted to get a softer look, then use a sponge dauber to do that. And you can just flick the edges. And then I'll probably end up doing that exact same technique around the edges of the page when I'm done. All right, so now we're just going to adhere these straight down to the mats. Instead of your white border, you could just do your full photo. You could also use your scissors and distress those edges if you didn't want to do the ink. All right, so let's get these down. Our photos, it's showing 3 inches over and 1 3/4 inches down. So 1 3/4 inches down this way. So about right up here. Let me see. So about like that and 3 inches over. So it's just about on that full black line right here. And then a little bit is overlapping right over here. Okay. I'm not going to press it down real hard just in case I need to pick it up for some reason. And then this piece is right under here with about a 1/4 inch in between. It will tell you 1.5 inches from the top, lined up with that one. All right, so we've got our photos down. Now we need to bring in, let's find where all our pieces are coming from. So let's flip this over. Reminder, so I'm doing project 1. So let's pop out all our project 1 pieces. And we'll visit with one another to see how everyone is doing. How was everyone's weekend? All right, I'm just gonna pop these out and we can chit chat. So anyone new watching? Let me know if you have ever done a scrapbooking workshop kit project. I'm just gonna do the project 1s, not all the others. They might fall out, but that's fine. Okay, here's one right here, little arrow. How cool is that? And then here's some banners. Like that one's gonna pop out probably, so I'm gonna put it over in my number 2 pile. Project 1. Let's see. Here's a couple more down here. And then I think the last one on this page is right down here. It's one of our titles, The Great Outdoors. All right, so I can take that and put that away. And then flip this one over because it is punch outs as well. Here's a couple down here. It's kind of fun to flip them over and see what they are. Project 1, project 1. Some more banners. This is nice because you don't have to dovetail any of these. They're already done for you. There's one more. I think there's a couple of little ones here. Okay, arrows. And then I think, do you call these chevrons? I think. Oops. Oops, I didn't do the right one. That's 2. There we go. I need this one. I was going to say, that's awfully bright. All right, so since I popped that one out, I'm going to put it in my pile for number 2 as well. All right, did I get them all? I think so. Just double checking. Okay, I think we're good. And then sticker wise, I won't pull the stickers off yet. We'll pull them off and distress them as we need them. So let's see what we've got here. So explore is going to be a sticker. I think these are going, if I don't see them on this page, I'm going to stick them over here. All right, so we've got that's a early espresso. I think that's over here. Might be this bigger one. No, might be both of these. So right down in here is what I'm looking at. There's that one. And then I think those 2 little chevron pieces are on this. And then I think all of that is over here. This one is right here. And this one is here too. We're building up this little cluster. That might be right under there. And then this one I'm going to throw over here. I think that's a wood grain piece right there. So I think this might be over here. And there is one of these right here. You've got an arrow I don't see. And another one of these, but I think it goes over here. And I'm guessing this one goes over there as well. Okay, so let's focus on this page. And I'm going to grab, I think I will use some sponge daubers. And let's see if I have one that will work. Not sure what, that might be a good color. Let me see. I think it's actually early espresso. So I'm going to clean it off a little bit and we'll continue to use the um, pecan pie that I used on this. You know what? I'm just going to use that one since it's clean. And we want, let's start up here at the top. So I'm going to just stress some of this, show you how I do that. Debbie says she's still organizing photos. So that makes me wonder, Debbie and everybody else, do y'all scrapbook chronologically or do you scrapbook kind of random photos? That's how I don't know if I would consider random photos, but I've always scrapbooked using certain collection of products most of the time, and then I find photos to go with it. Now, if I'm focusing on photos, then usually it's because I'm doing an album or a particular project. Um, like I just got lucky here. The colors kind of work. That's not like Jeff and I's tops are kind of in between, I guess, the Cajun craze there. All right, so you see how I just distressed that piece? And then, hey, Jennifer. Jennifer's never done the Stampin' Up kits. That's a great idea to get the one that I'm working on. It's fun. I've been dying to play with this one, or excited. I love that it was different and not floral. And then it can work for so many things, camping and up in the mountains and so forth. It doesn't have to be like just summertime necessarily. Maybe you're up in the winter mountains. We always went, not always, a couple of years um, in my first marriage when the two oldest kids were fairly young. We went up to a place called Lake City, Colorado, and I have tons of photos. I actually have a full album that I've done for 1 year from like 2003, 2005, somewhere in that. Okay, so up here, let's look. We've got probably a sticker. I'm going to set that aside. And it is exciting day right here. So we're going to pull that off. I don't think I really need to distress around that because it is but I could do this. So I'm just going to show you today some different ways I would elevate my page, keeping it similar to um, how it is in the page or in the workshop, but just elevating some elements with distressing, with stamping dimensionals. I'm just going to look right here. The only place they're showing the twine is right behind here. But remember, I think I'm going to use some twine over on this page wrapped around one of my letters because I'm thinking I'll do but maybe like right up in here somewhere. I don't want to really, I may have to do it like staggered a little bit so I don't cover up Jeff too much. So I'm going to lay those there and we'll see how that comes about. That's probably where I'm going to put it though. All right, so what's next? I'm going to do the six, well, we'll just work down the page. So let's do the wonder, wonder, repeat. This one, there's a hole that you can pop out right here. So this would definitely be great to put some twine in. They didn't on this project, but I will. All right, so a trick that I like to do, let me get my bigger dimensionals here. So first I'm going to put my dimensionals on here. One. Everything's flat so far on here, so we can do, let me do one in the middle. I'm putting my dimensionals down for a reason first, but keep your backing on them. Now you can grab your anti-static pouch from your embossing, like your wet embossing kit. Whoops. And since this is a sticker and I don't want it to stick to the page because of the dimensionals, I'm going to go over it with some powder to make it not sticky. And then I can also work with it a little bit more. So it's a little tacky still, but it's not as sticky as it was. Okay, keep that handy. You may do that a little bit more. Now from here, I can kind of work with it a little bit more. My fingers aren't sticking to it, and we can do some twine. So I guess I should, you know what? There's several things I'm going to do since I have that open. Let's do the edge of this. And you'll be able to see it more right there on that very vanilla. And it's just a real light, subtle distress technique. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and close this up. Debbie's trying to get the years in order. Hello, Ruth. How are you? All right. So I'm going to do about, I usually pick about 9 inches of twine when I do this. I'm going to do 2 strips like this. 9 may have been a little excessive, but I'm going to put them all together, I think, like this. And we will go in from the back. See if I can get them all through there. Okay, I think I have them all through there. And then I'll loop it here. So that's going to secure it to the tag. Okay. And then we'll probably cut this off a little bit. So it could have been a little bit shorter because it's going to go right up here. And I'm going to have to go out a little bit further so I don't cover myself up too much. And so I'll probably cut it off right about here where I have my fingers, right in here. But before I do that, let's divide these up. Let me see here for a second. There we go. I like to finish off my ends by tying a knot. So about where I think I'm going to cut it off, I don't want it to go too far past the page. So I'm going to knot it and then I'm going to cut it off like that. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. Okay. And if you keep it loose, the knot, before you pull it tight, you can adjust it kind of to where you want it to be. So like this one, I think I need to go down a little bit more. So it's similar to where, so it was a little bit longer, which is fine. Actually, probably will look better that way. And you can leave it open like that, or you could also, I think I'm gonna tie a little loop that'll go right down in there. And that'll kind of secure that area so it doesn't come loose. And then you've got your little tag here that'll add a little bit more rustic. Now we're ready to add it to our page. All kinds of things sticking to my fingers. Oh well. And then we'll put it similar, but I think I'll keep it straight, but I'll put it right about there. Okay. And then we have, where's that? This right here. Again, I don't need to necessarily do anything to this one. It's gonna maybe put a little dimensional right down here in this far corner, like right in here. If you want to put a little bit of glue, just like that, because it's going to be on the tag right about here. I think that'll work. And then this is the perfect place to add an embellishment. What other color? We do have some blacks because we have some black going on over here. So I think I'll do one of these. And I think I'll do not the little one. I was just trying to move it back to where it belonged. See if I can keep it stuck on there. All right, so we'll put a little black dot right there. And look how much that adds to it. We'll add some more around the page. Maybe not all black, we'll see. And then let's move over to this quadrant where our title is. And we will start with Explore. So that's a sticker. So we'll pull that off and probably do, Jeff's gonna love this since I put UT. It's not University of Texas, it's for Utah. So he's just gonna have to chill out. Haven't decided yet exactly where I'm gonna put that, but somewhere right in there probably. All right, so this is gonna go here. I'm gonna pop this one up because we have a little piece going underneath it. So we're gonna do the exact same thing and we did for this one. And let's put, I think I will just go right down the center of this one. Maybe, we'll see. We're gonna need more than that. Don't think I want to I could do like little ones. I think I'll do that. So maybe a little one there. This will just hold it up a little bit better. I'm not using the big ones. Okay, I think that'll work. And then we will do the tapping that again. Whoops. So make sure you tap that powder on there before you take off the backings of your dimensionals. And you just need enough so that it's not like super tacky. If you pounce it on there, then it'll get a little bit more powder on there. Hey, have y'all come up with any thoughts and ideas of what to add here? Hmm. Um, I think I'm okay with covering up Maverick. Let me see, just not the wedding. So I'm going to put it up a smidge higher. And because again, I've already scrapbooked this particular photo before. I'm just using it again on this page. I did like an 8.5 by 11 page, I think, of just this photo a while back. All right, so we've got this piece, and it's gonna tuck in right there. And I am going to, mm, yeah, I didn't sponge the edges of these. Well, we did the direct to paper, so that was a little bit different. So let's do, Bevan's making pizza, I think. Smells good. Yeah, she's only got 2 months left here. As of today, I think it's the countdown. She'll be heading off to college. All right, so we're going to tuck this up under here, out right there. I think we're good. And then what else do we have? We've got to build up, kind of lay this out so I can see. I'm going to have to move it over because I'm trying not to cover up that. It's going to come up from under here somewhere. It's actually like do it this way. It's like going like that. So we'll see if we can fit all this. It's down a little bit more, close to that. Oh, this is a little tricky. It's like a little puzzle. That's going to be right down in here. We have that. What a view. Let's pull it out. It's a sticker. It's going to go right in here somewhere. Again, the same thing. I'm going to pop it up. Guess with a couple of maybe 3 pieces around, something like that. And I'm going to do this just also helps. If you weren't doing your dimensionals, you could just lay all these flat like they're shown. But all right, so I'm not going to pull those off yet because I am trying to kind of figure out where all these go. This is going to go up here. We have another piece that I need to, it's got a stripe right here. All right, so I think I'm going to start with it. Well, maybe not. This piece is going to go like, I think right about there. This is a sticker. This is not, so I'm just sticking it on there. I think I'm also going to take this piece and line it up. I don't think I'm going to put it under it. So let's do this, and I think that will work. Hopefully I can, yeah, so right down in like that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. So you do have to study the picture a little bit sometimes to see how they put them in. So we'll do about like that. What a view. Okay. And then time to play is going to be a sticker as well. Now these pieces we might can just lay flat on here. So we'll do this one. I think it's going to end up covering up this a little bit. You see how I'm going to have to cut or lift that up a little bit. It's like right there. Oh, fudge. Let's see here. Again, it's a sticker, so I'm put it about right there. I think I've got it straight. Okay, we still got the wedding ring thing in there. Not that it matters too much, but. And then this one, I think is gonna go straight down on the page. Well, I got to put the black and the Cajun craze down first. And I got to pull out some more adhesive. So I think down here, since, well, I might have to put it up a little bit higher. I'm just going to barely tack it there. Let me grab some more adhesive real quick. See, it's taking a little bit longer than I thought it might. And now that we kind of got our ideas figured out, I think we'll wrap it up here fairly quickly now. Let's see. Got any more, too many more technical difficulties. I guess this would be a technical difficulty too. Running out of adhesive in the middle of a project, but at least I had more, right? Okay, I need to put some right here. And then this one's going to overlap just a tiny bit. I feel like that does need to come down a little bit more. My goodness, how far can it go? I'm going to go ahead and put this down right up against, I'm going to put it right up against there. And we're going to do this right in here. I only want to bring it down low enough to so you don't see anything right in there. And then this I'm going to tuck up under here. Just got to lift it up again a little bit. So only really showing about that much. Okay, I think we got that. That was a little tricky. Okay, so the page pretty much done there. Now we can do, this is where I want to see if, let me look at my opposite page and see the flow of the page. Yeah, you know what? I think I'm going to put the UT down here instead, I think. And then these, I'm going to use the little dimensionals on here to pop these up. And that way it won't be too heavy over here. And we're creating kind of like a zigzag across the page with the, we'll put UT down here. Okay, so I'm going to do kind of like right over top, right there. Not covering him up too much. Okay, I think that'll work. Oh, can't get that backing off. Okay, right there. So I think we're good. So that kind of starts the zigzag, I think. All right, so let's cut these out. Do you think with some early espresso, I'm going to go back to the front page for now so we can see, because I think going down like that, yep, is creating my zigzag. Or maybe I should do old olive. Do you see the greens in each one? I think that's what I'll do. And let me decide real quick. Let me look at the colors that are in here. Mossy Meadow is in here, so I'm going to do Mossy Meadow. It's not, there is Old Olive too, but I'm going to do Mossy Meadow. So I think I will, yes, I'm just going to use a piece of that. And let's move some things over for the moment and finish this page up with our little technique on Using the party alphabet dies in a little bit unique way. We're going to wrap a tiny bit of twine around them, like Melody did. I've got to cut this piece down 1 second. I'm going to do a 5.5 inch. So this will be added to, this will be added to your Scrap and Create kit. You've got a little bit, you've got some scraps of the um, old olive here, but I'm going to add in some mossy meadow. So after today, I'll have a better idea of what papers will be in the Scrap and Create kit. I think I will have to add an additional piece of 12 by 12 for a base for Wednesday. And I'm not sure what color I'll go with yet. All right, so there's that. So I would highly recommend you could save your stamping rewards or use your stamping rewards toward the party alphabet die. That would be a great way to get them because they are an investment. But I promise you, you'll use them so much for your scrapbooking. Okay, so here is what we're going to do with, we're just going to put, I'm going to put, I think, some tear and tape just to hold it in place. And we're just going to do maybe about an inch. So this is the back side of here. I'm going to do it on this side right here. It's just going to add some texture. So peel that up. And that tear and tape will hold it in place. So just line it up here at the top. And then we're just going to wrap it around like this and do maybe about an inch, pull it and straighten it tight. It's probably easier to do it this way. Let me see, I gotta figure out yeah. Once you get it started, it's pretty easy. It's that simple. Except when your finger sticks to the tear and tape. You're fine. I don't think they can hear you. All right. I'm just going to keep going until I reach the end of my tear and tape. So we're getting close. Again, it should be about an inch. And if you want to stop, say you want to stop right there, you can cut that off. And you can peel this up. Look, you can peel it up or you can add some of your, I'm just going to, it doesn't matter too much. We got to adhere it to the page. But look, how cute is that? That is a cute technique. And we'll do a little bit on this one too, maybe. But I'm gonna pop this up with some dimensionals. I'll put one right there. I'm gonna try not to put one actually on the twine because it'll lift up off the page a little bit anyways. Now, if you wanted to distress the letters, you could, but I'm not going to. I don't think it's necessary. But if you did want to add a little bit more texture, you could do that. Some of the letters would get a little tricky because of the angles. These two would be fairly easy. Okay, I think I'm going to overlap like right here on the photo. And then I think I'm going to do it a little bit right down here as well. That autocorrect. Okay, and I think I'll put a little bit right there. And then just do the same thing on there. And then the only other twine I think we'll use will be where they show it on the opposite page. Okay. So some other fabulous features and reasons why you might want to grab the scrapbook workshop kits that we have. We have quite a few available now. I'm not sure if any have got discontinued yet. I need to look and see what we actually have. But they've been putting them out. I think we had 4 last September, a year ago. It'll be a year ago in September. And then we had 4 in January. So we should have 12 by now. We had 4 in the new catalog. And then I'm hoping there'll be 4 more come September again in our September through December mini catalog. Oh, and there's a new one. Yes, I actually have one of them. We're doing our creativity now on Saturday, and I have one from the September through December catalog, mini catalog. I just remembered that. Kind of a winter theme, a holiday winter theme, I guess it could be. Lots of blues. So you'll get a sneak peek of that this weekend. I'll share that on social media. All right, so I think I'll do it just like that. So this stands for Utah, okay? We'll put a couple of more embellishments, the dots on here in a few minutes. So let me move this stuff out of the way and then let's get this page together. It'll come together a little bit quicker, I think. So just need to do our distressing again. I want to do the same thing I did on this other side. And it's easier now that I don't have adhesive on here first. I'm just using the edge of my scissors to roughen up that edge. And then I'll try to do just the same techniques as I did on the first page. And these are just additional ways to elevate your scrapbooking workshop kits. If you want to be a little bit more creative, we can look at the stamps too and see if we can add a couple of little stamps here and there, maybe. I haven't looked at it too close. Okay, so let's go back to our instruction sheet. And it's going to show that we want this to go 4 inches over from the right. So 8 inches, is that about where? I feel like it's going a little bit further. Let's see, 4. I'm going to go to like 3. Quarter. Yeah, I think it's more like 3 from, I'm going to say 3 from the left. Okay, this one's going to go straight down to the right side of this paper. Oh, what I was going to say, when you get the Scrap and Create kit, you have 3 new sketches. Every scrapbook create, every scrapbooking workshop kit includes 3 new sketches, scrapbooking sketches. So you can use these sketches, designs to use whatever paper you have on hand and use them over and over again. So that's one of the things I love about it. Let me put my pictures onto the mats. I'm going to do that before I tap it into my ink like I did the other page. And that way I maybe don't get ink on my photos. If you wanted these to be lighter, you could do the opposite side, but I just use the very vanilla. It's upside down, but I'll just flip it around. Okay. And then I can just tap these edges on that pecan pie. Okay, and then you can kind of see maybe the difference right here, and it just helps pop it off the page a little bit more. See the difference right here, especially on the lighter background. Just another distressing technique. Okay, like that. Those are ready. I'll keep this handy because I'll have to do let's do a little bit of distressing. If I can find there it is. I can do it on this. Is that what I mainly did? I didn't do that one. I should have done that. I forgot. Maybe off camera, I'll see if I can pull it up and do it. Okay, there's that. That one won't need it. Maybe this one. And I don't think I'll do those. How about we do this one? Okay, just added a little extra distressing. So get my ink pop closed. And we don't want to forget our little bit of twine. That will be right down here. Oh, we may have to distress a couple of stickers too. Remember, we have punch outs and stickers. All right, so I think I'm going to put the photos kind of like this. And I'm going to put this one straight down on the page. Well, probably all of them, but let's see here. It's showing inside there, like about right there. You can kind of just eyeball it. Oops. Too. And then I want to be careful with how I position this on. I think I'm going to put this one on top because it'll cover me up if I do it that way. So figure out where this one needs to go. It's going to come out past that just a tiny bit, up a little bit higher. It's not quite the same, but we'll do it about right there, I think. I'm barely going to put it down. I am going to just glue this one straight down, no dimensionals, maybe like right about there. It's pretty close to the same. So I'm not touching, I'm not going over his foot there or my foot down here. And hopefully we won't cover up too much of any of this other stuff. All right, we'll start up here with this one. You want to pay attention to the northwest, east, south. So you want the north at the top. I'm going to pop that up. I've already distressed it. So I'm going to keep these kind of close to the middle. And yeah, we're pretty close to being done now. Don't let me forget extra um, dots. So think about right there. Then we'll do this again, how we did the dot in this one. I want small dimensionals, just one. It's going to be like right here. Maybe like right down in there. A little bit of adhesive right there. Over, I want to see the S. Okay, so right there. Let's grab those black. You can also just like kind of push them off onto your project sometimes, especially if they're there on the end. I'll keep those handy, so, and remember to use those. Then we have, well, let me see here. That looks different. It's a different color, but I think it's this one right here. Let me double check the other projects. Sometimes they have prototypes and things change. No, there's that one. All right, so maybe I didn't punch out. Let me find my punched out. There it is. It actually was marked wrong on the, so it's this one. Bring this back in. Let's see. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna pop this up. I probably won't write directly on here because I have my journaling strips. So I may just lay my journaling strips right over on top of it. And then let me look and see if I want to distress the edge at all. Again, this was just a punch out, this one. I don't think I need to, just the color of it, it's not going to show up that much. I'm going to tuck it right down in here like that. And then let's set out these pieces and see what we got going on. Okay, it looks like that's going to come out over here. I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. I think I'm going to put this up about, I guess it can touch my shoe just a tiny bit. That will be right there. This piece is going to tuck up under. And be about right there. So I'll see that. This piece I'm going to pop up. I need a little one right in between there, I think. What would you scrapbook with this kit? Do you have any mountain photos? I'm going to go like right about there. So don't cover up Jeff. Then we need, there's a little love. That's perfect. Right there. Now, since I popped this one up, I'm not going to pop this little one up. We can go right in there. And now I think I want to pop this up. So I'm going to use some little, go all the way across. So we need a few, maybe even. You want to keep them close enough so that they don't kind of push in. Making sure they're on there good. And then it usually allows me to get those off a little easier, but not all the time. I have a pile over here to my left that I'm making of the backings. I'm going to have to throw in the trash here in a little bit. Okay, like goodbye. Now that is going to go right. Like it's going to overlap or just go right over that. And this is showing a journaling strip. One of my journaling strips might fit on there. Yeah. So I'm just going to tack that down. In the project photo, it's handwriting, but I'm not going to probably do it's showing to kind of be right there. Okay. I think that's pretty straight. And then I think we have another sticker, and this is where the twine goes underneath. We almost have this one done, but let's do a little bit of distressing on this. I think I just stuck my finger in there. Ooh, I've never been to Montana or Wyoming. I would love to see those pictures, Debbie. Again, I have a bunch from, I grew up, my parents taking me to different places in Colorado and New Mexico. So when I first got married in 91, I'd never been anywhere other than, I think, Colorado, New Mexico, and Texas. Maybe my parents took me across the border to Mexico way back in the day. Um, but I don't really remember that. All right, and then we're going to put these, I'm going to put some kind of zigzagging, I guess. I think that'll be close enough. Maybe some little ones just there in these corners. And I'm going to, all right, so what do you think about the minimal techniques that we've done? You just need your scissors and a sponge and an ink. We've only used the pecan pie on this one. Probably only use it throughout the 3 pages. So when I'm done here today, I'll work on finishing up the other 2 pages and actually getting photos on them. Well, I can't get that one off. All right. And then this, oh, before we put that down, let's grab our, they only show one, but I'm going to do two since I did two up there. I'll get it. It's like a big bow. That's fine. Kevin's gonna get ice. I don't know if y'all can hear it. Maybe just barely in the background. All right, and now this I'm going to just make a bow. I'm gonna do it a little bit further over here. Love you. Have a good day. All right, so it's kind of a long bow, kind of like this underneath there. And I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna tie the end and I'm gonna push it toward the end of that. So I have a little knot there. I just like the way that looks instead of the tails just kind of floundering. And if you want to cut those off so that they're the same length, that might be even better. And then now let's just kind of lay it underneath here. Let me look and see how they kind of do it. Kind of at an angle, a little bit further down. I think I'm going to tilt it this way a little bit more. And I might even, I'm going to put a little adhesive like right in there so I can position it kind of where I want it. I think kind of like this. Do that. So it's poking out there and over here. I might, oops. Okay. Sorry if I'm kind of off the camera. So something kind of like that. I might do let me see. So you can kind of position it where you want it. There we go. Something to that effect, right about. I can move it around a little bit more if I need to. It shows it kind of underneath there, but I am going to put it, it's showing that underneath that piece, but I'm going to do it like this. If I want to, before I tack it down all the way, kind of maneuver these where you think you kind of want them. I'm going to do them kind of like that. Our tails are going to be kind of like that, maybe. That'll work. Okay. Maybe can pull it a little bit to make those about the same width. Okay. And just these pieces, I think. And a couple of, oh, I see one more thing I need to pull off. Let me do this one right here. And we just need to add some dots and we'll be done. All right. So good thing I decided to only do the one page. I think that is a sticker. Let's see. This one right here. And I'm just going to tuck it right there. And I can write something or put a journaling strip there. I'll come back and let's see here. Oh no. I think that's it. I'm just double checking. So there's our pages. And let me find these pieces before I look at my journaling strips. Got black here. I may only though do those two black pieces, and then let's do maybe we need, yeah, I think I do. They're up here. So let's put a black something around each one of these. Probably right in here. One, two, three, and then we can add in, maybe I'll do these little pecan pie. I'm just going to add a little bit extra. Um, Whoops. So they're all kind of uniform there. And I don't have to do all of these. Let me add just a couple of my journaling strips here and there. Don't think I want it there. I think I want it more like down here. I think this will be good. The Stewart Falls is actually this right here. What else did I get cut off? Beautiful 200-foot. This one's kind of long. So let me look at it. Do some journaling there. I think I'll do it like this. I'm just going to use this kind of as a backdrop for my journaling strips. So I don't have to try to write on there because it's not the best thing to do when you've do them like right on the lines. I don't know why my journaling looks to me like it's crooked. Or my strips. Let me see, maybe do a couple more. If you're new here and you haven't seen me do my journaling strips, this is kind of how I do them. And just double space them on my word processor. I use the American typewriter font. I almost exclusively use that now. I don't know why. I just like it. Maybe it's my signature. I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and sit here and cut all these out. Let's just finish this up real quick. We can call it done. I don't know if I can fit all of these on here, but it wasn't like a actual paragraph. They were just kind of like bullet points. So I can get this one cut. It's getting skinnier. It makes it a little bit harder. They end up being about a 1/4 inch. Not exactly, but close. So I'm going to look at these and see. I already deleted one. So I was like, oh, I don't need that many. I wanted to fit it on a 4x6 piece. I like that up here because that's where the waterfall picture is. Where's the one? So maybe down here, Road the Scenic. I like this one because it's talking about riding the lift. And I like to take these and not line them up, stagger them a little bit. I think I can put that one like maybe right here. Okay, and then come back up here. And we paused on a gigantic rock, a beautiful 200 tucked into the mountains. We paused. The trail had the perfect mix of challenge and peace. Great outdoors, that's one, maybe. Okay, last but not least, maybe I can cut that right in half there. Normally I would space it out into two single strips, but we're just going to stick that over top of that. That was just so crooked to me. I don't know what the deal is. Um, we paused on a giant rock to soak in the view and maybe do this one, and it will probably end up off the journaling block just a smidge. I'm going to do right between the felt and so refreshing. And I'm just going to do it like that. Mm, let's see if I can fit this in somewhere. So I can come down, maybe right in here somewhere. Fill in that space just a tiny bit with a few little strips. So I'm kind of looking to see. I don't want it too far down here. So I think I might put it right up in here. And decide which one I want. I don't think I'm going to do that one. I'm just going to do these two. And I can stick them in like right in here. Okay, I'm done. There we go. So there is project number one from our scrapping, not from our scrapbooking workshop kit called Weekend Adventures. So I did some extra distressing, sponging, distress scissor on the edge, a little bit of ink to paper on the mats. This one I'm probably going to try to pull up and see if I can do a sponging around it. I have a little bit of sponging on all the green elements there. So, and then this, I'm not sure what I'm going to, something needs to go here. I'm not sure what. Um, I wonder if there's just, I'm afraid to use something because then I could put group photo, the two of us, better together. Let me look and see real quick if I can see, because not all of these were used. There's a better together, but it's a blue one. I think I'm going to do that. Just that right there. I'm going to stick it right here. That's just going to fill in that space. It's made for journaling, but I've done all my journaling I need to do. Okay, done officially. All right, thanks, ladies. This was a long one, but only because we did all our paper cutting I showed you how to do. So, but I hope that you live in Utah. Yay. But just some little extra e- embellishments, elevate your pages and make them feel a little bit more like you or your style. So if you're looking at these workshop kits and thinking, well, honestly, this one is a really, really great one. I mean, it's got a lot of elements in it already, so they're beautiful just as is. But if you want to add just a little bit more pizzazz to your pages, these are some fun techniques to use, especially for this rustic vibe. So thanks for joining me today. I'll have details about my Scrap and Create kit on my Scrap and Create Kit landing page here later today. Now I'm going to pull in those other pages and finish them up. I'll use some of the same techniques and I'll show those pages and share them when I share this one to my social media today. And then join me again on Wednesday for Story and Sketch, where we will be creating a 12 by 12 scrapbook page using our scraps. Check out the scraps that we have to work with. Okay, and we'll bring in a few other card stocks as well from our Scrap and Create kit and see what we can make. I'm excited. May have to do more with water with that blue um, misty moonlight. I'm just going to push that down a little bit more. All right. Take care, everyone. God bless you all. Have a great week if I don't see you later in the week on Wednesday or Friday. And I'm so happy I'm back on track this week. Take care. Bye bye.